as we start.
Okay.
Okay, so hey, what's up? It's your boy DJL7. I believe that we are live right now. Let me check my broadcast software. It does say that I'm streaming right now. So the thing is that I wanted to say this lady right here, actually, I met her when I was actually at the Central Park 5. There was an exoneration event, and I'm going to share this video right here with my audience. I know that she can't see it at the moment.
Okay. And
You just don't know. They didn't investigate it. I fought it. I fought that stuff.
How long ago was this? How much time they did? They did some
They
time?
didn't do no time. They did,
So this is about 5 months ago. So now, I've been quite busy. I actually saw this lady recently at the Sean Bell documentary. And, I had talked about her case, but I was just busy working on other things. But now I'm actually getting to follow up. Apparently, I didn't know. I thought that because it was exoneration, I thought her case was over. And I thought that she was seeking exoneration, right? Yeah, because that's usually what, gets attracted there. But actually, she had a ongoing event that I found out, like, just recently had, I think you guys had a court date or something?
Yes, on the 16th,
Yeah,
May
so
16th.
I might have said something about that before the 16th. I didn't really have time to do a show about that, but now we're going to find out what the situation. We're going to get an update on her situation, and we're just going to, I think a lot of my audience doesn't really know about what happened to you, to your situation. So why don't, if you could actually introduce yourself and, explain why you're here today.
Yes, hi. Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show, your podcast. As you said, we met at events because, we are just concerned about things that are happening in our community. And I thank you for taking the time to, really speak with me at that event at Central Park, the Exonerated Five, and also now. And I think you're doing a great job in the community because, we have other television stations and that, but they don't cover the more important things that is dealing with the grassroots people. And this is what it is. This is a grassroots problem. I'm not a celebrity, so I have not been given any attention. That's what happened to most of us why problems last this long. I don't have a lot of money. I'm low income, and they look at me as if I'm a nobody. If I was like a mayor or maybe, the wife of Kobe Bryant or Beyonce or something, they would have taken it seriously. Or, somebody who is in notable position. But I'm not, but I still consider myself someone of a freedom fighter and activist. I am member of National Action Network, been a member for many years. I am the chairperson of the Golden Agers International Intergenerational Committee. That's a committee that bridges the gap between our adults population and the young people on different issues, regarding race, respect, community, family, economics, health and wellness, recreation, education, and as various different things. We're just trying to, years ago we were more connected to our family. So I formed that committee so that we can be more connected as a family in the things that affect us. But I found that although I'm helping other people to solve their problem, I'm not getting any solution to mine. My problem is a housing problem, and it's also turned into a criminal problem. And I've reached out to many people, including the former mayor of the city, and now the now mayor of the city, and different elected officials, and I've got no response. Mine is a housing, and as I said, and it turned into a landlord criminal activity. Where I'm living, I've got to say that I lived here in prior to this incident happening in 2020, July of 2020. I've lived in my apartment since 2016, my family and myself, and we had no issues with the landlady. She was a beautiful woman. I was someone who uh, volunteered in the community with seniors. I worked with Florence M. Rice, who's a labor activist and very well known in Harlem. And through her, through Miss Florence M. Rice and another senior called Mother Lucy Hilton, I was able to get this apartment. I was well recommended. And we lived here peacefully from 2016 until July of 2020 we had a group of people that came up the steps and banged on every apartment, put up notices on every apartment in here saying that they're the new owners and the landlord died. So everybody was startled because I just saw the landlord maybe a couple days before, or maybe I think it was the day before. So to hear that this woman who's lived here and she never had any family died, I was really just, we were, all the people in the building were trying to find out, but they would not tell us anything. They just came up, told her that they said they were the owners with a piece of paper and a few sentences and signed on it. No paperwork from the court, and they refused to give identification. It has been over 3 years now, and we have not seen not one ID from the people who claim they're the owners of the building. They demanded rent, and yes, I did give them 3 months partial rent. It was in the middle of COVID. I was just recovering from COVID myself, and they came in and they got the money. I have the receipts. So they collected rent. I understand it was an illegal thing to do, but I was afraid that, maybe the water would cut off and the lights. So I'm just doing what I can. But that wasn't just it. 8 people came up those stairs, and those 8 people terrorized us for almost 4 years. We are in that since they came up the steps. They came in and they wanted all the tenants out. So they did everything, including assaulting myself and my son, destruction of property. I had a major leak in my apartment, and the former landlady gave me permission to store my stuff in a particular place in this building. They destroyed everything. They came in, they kicked in the doors. My son was sleeping. He called the police, and they assaulted him. They pulled him out his apartment and they beat him. He was trying to get downstairs to the police to say, come and look, but he told the police prior to going down there, I'm scared. I mean, what's going on? And, he had me on the phone also. I said, because we thought it was a burglar. We thought it was a break-in, and, we didn't know what it was. I was in the Bronx helping another family member. And, it sounded like somebody was kicking in the doors. And because I heard the wood breaking, and he said, "Ma, what should I do?" I said, "Call 911." And he called 911. And when they came, we are on the 3rd floor. There's only one entrance in and one entrance out. So you have to pass these attackers to go down. And he told the police, and the police said, "Come on down." And as soon as he opened the door, before he even came out the apartment, they pulled him out. They attacked him. They jumped on him, pulled him out the apartment, slammed the door in his face, and broke a vase in his face. One of the vases that they were my vase, the same vase they were destroying. They smashed him in the face. So he managed to break free from 2 of them. This is, and then he ran downstairs. The police had to call the ambulance. He was put in the back of an ambulance. Okay? They came up, they interviewed him. They knew he was hurt. They saw the damage to the whole thing that was done. And these individuals, they even tried to pass the police, and they couldn't pass the police. He identified them as, these are my attackers. This woman who attacked my son, who claims to be the owner, said, "I work for the police." That's the statement. My son has that on video. He came out, the ambulance, to talk to them. And she told them, "I work for the police." And you know what the police did? There you got a familiar face or a familiar whatever partner. They didn't arrest her. They didn't ask her for ID. Her son was there. He said my ID was in the car. Nothing. So they were able to beat my son, beat him over the head, do what they wanted to do, destroy property, and run, and nothing, no accountability. And the police report, when we got it, was falsified. They falsified everything. But you know what? We have it on tape. The tape was rolling. So there's no way, and now we're even fighting with the police commissioner to get the correct statement. There's a lot of things that have gone on in here. I was assaulted in the hallway by the same individual because they put up cameras, illegal cameras, since they came in, and they stalk the people in the building. They know when they're coming and going. Okay, they shut my lights off because I was the one to complain. They fixed nothing. The city had to come in and fix the roof, and fix everything. She presented a fake check. I had to sue her She presented a fake check of $9,000 to say that she fixed the roof. So falsified. And the judge in the case is very biased. She's leaning towards her. My attorney asked about documents. No documents. She presented this fake check. Okay, I had to sue her for the harassment and the fact that they were not doing no repairs in here. They just wanted the building and they wanted us out. So there's an open lawsuit. And as I said, the last time we went to court was May the 16th. Okay, because it has been get out the building, and every time these 8 men see us, MFs get out the building, and we're going to do this to you, and it's all threats. They
Okay.
are not professionals. They never gave us anything professional to say they have a manager for the building, or there is a what should I say, a super.
So
Nothing. You don't know
yeah.
their names. They just walk around, and that is what they do. But what I'm saying is that here it is, my housing has been threatened in the middle of COVID. I had COVID and I had to go live in the Bronx. This person who took over the building, they locked every tenants out for 2 weeks. That's an illegal eviction. Nothing has been done.
Okay, so can I
Okay?
ask something? Recently you
Yes,
had the
go ahead.
court date, but it sounds like there's so many things going on. You have the
Yes,
assault on your son. You have
yes,
the possible eviction stuff going on. You got the
yes,
argument about the rooftop, right? So
yes.
what was the court date about? Was it which one of those issues?
Okay, the court date was a continuation to put charges against her. We were the one that brought the charges against her. It
Okay.
is us versus her.
Is that the only
And we
court
bought,
is that the only issue that's being gone to court over, or are there multiple issues that are going to court
there
over?
are multiple issues, but we're gonna have to take some of them to criminal court because it was when you beat somebody, when you pull somebody out their apartment. My son was dragged out of his apartment and beaten. Okay, trying to get past them to get to the police, and he couldn't. And he told the police they were in the way. But what I'm trying to say, we can't deal with that in that court because it's housing court. But the fact of the matter is that she fixed nothing, and we were without. She cut my electricity off for 4.5 months. Every other tenants in here had electricity. So 4.5 months in the summer, I had no lights in here. And we had to run, my son had to buy 10 electric cords from Home Depot, put them together and get electricity run to the second floor. And when she realized that I was getting electricity from the second floor, she cut the second floor light off and refused to turn back the lights on. And we had to call the city numerous times. The city, the housing situation is deplorable. So when we went to court on the 16th, the city sued her on the 17th. She went to housing court on the 17th. The city versus her now because she has done no repairs, nothing in the building but attack and assault tenants. So I believe the city has somewhat been involved in it that helped us. So on the 16th, before she went to court, she came into court and her attorney said, and this is the kicker, she is no longer the owner of the building.
So who
I
owns it
don't
now?
that's what I'm saying. You can't just get up and disown just because her tail is in fire. The city somebody finally sued her because there's so many repairs that weren't done, and she had 3 years. But her thing was the tenants. It was us, and I was the most vocal person because I was not going to let people come in and intimidate me. And it was just intimidation tactics. There was nothing that was
If
legal.
the bank
And,
took it
and
back, maybe you could own the building. Maybe it would open
I,
up
I
for.
want to. Believe me, I'm
Okay.
going that route right now. I'm going and I need any kind of help that I can get. I heard that Inez Dickens office. I'm going that route because I'm
But
the longest.
one of the bad things that happens in this case, once the
Yes.
owner finds out about this, they start to take loans on the building, and then what happens is that in order for you to buy the building, you have to pay off the loan. This should be illegalized. Unfortunately, this is. What it sounds
Well,
like this lady wants to clear you all out of the building. Is she trying to sell the building, or what's the deal? Like, is
she's
she
trying to sell the building, but you cannot sell the building if there's an harassment case on it. That's the law. Okay.
okay?
And she cannot take out any loans on the building because there's already other things going on with the building. She cannot go to no bank. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? She knows. So I checked with us. We went, my son and myself, Korey. We went to Senator um, Jackson's office
Okay.
recently. And he his constituents or the person who is working in there, his representative, I should say, they're looking at it. We have sent them everything. Recently, I got attacked on Mother's Day. The last attack was May the 14th. Okay. I came from church and I went to also after church a Mother's Day dinner. And I was upstairs. I came in, I was talking to my other son, and then Korey came up the stairs and said, "What's going on? There's something going on. The whole building is filled with the fire department." And I said, "What is going?" And I'm thinking it's a fire. So we tried to find out, should we grab our coats and go downstairs? I just had a pleasant day. So by the time we reach the second floor, here comes this owner's son telling us, "Get the hell off the first floor, get the hell, don't be," and he threatened us. I had to call the police. I called, 4 officers responded, and they wrote up the statement. No, they didn't write their thing on, and we were filming them. Do you know what happened? They said, "Go within 24 hours or 48 hours to the precinct and collect the report. The report is for harassment on Mother's Day." When I went there, I think last Tuesday, they said there's no police report. And the woman in the front desk of she was very rude, very nasty, very aggressive to me. And the other officer had to come and apologize. I don't know if it's a race thing or what. All I went was for a report. I said, "Do you think I'd be in here just for my health? I'm coming because she said, there's nothing reported." So what are they going to do? They took my passport. They said we need ID to make a police report. They took my passport, and whether it was photographed on their badge, I don't know. But I go to the station, and the woman told me that I'm lying. Practically told me, "Why do you lie about this thing? There's no police report." My son has it right now, and we can upload that and show to YouTube. You need to show these officers that came here, but she has a connection. This landlord, so-called landlord. Let me tell you what it is. They said she used to work like a clerk, inside of a police station. So she has a lot of inside people in there working for her. And a lot of the police reports that we have made and we have numbers for, they're missing. We want it investigated. How do we have police report numbers, yet the police report is missing? You tell me that. That's 3 years of police report, and I only have about 4, and I have the numbers now. So that's another thing. And every report that I have gained from the police, I had to go to one police plaza. Everything that I ever have is all been fraudulently put in whatever words it's fraudulent. They write what they want to write, but our cameras were rolling. So every time we call the police, we have these false statements that were made by the police, and I don't know why they're doing it, because they don't live here. They're actually committing a crime themselves, covering for this woman or writing what they feel like. That's what they do in our communities. And I'm going to say it's a race issue, because I told him, all the officers that come here, if I was a white woman, it would have been different. But my race disqualifies me from getting help. And I've been to National Action Network. They've sent me to attorneys and $10,000. I don't have $10,000.
Hey,
but I have a voice.
Actually, I want to ask about the police report. Before you said the police report is in the system, it has a number. Have you tried talking to maybe a police officer that's not directly connected to the case? Like, can you look up this number? Can you pull this police report? Does it exist? Can you print it out or something? Give it to me. Maybe go like through a FOIA request or something. That means freedom of information.
I did the FOIL. I did the FOIL, and that's what they send you now. When you go to one police plaza, you don't get to go in and talk to nobody. Right. So you actually have to. They have rerouted us where they frustrate us. They're hoping you say, "Wow," because a lot of people don't want to be bothered. This is why we don't get action. People like me are the ones that get action, because I'm a follower. I have all the FOIL.
So are you still waiting on the FOIL, or did it produce anything?
I have every single FOIL. I can send it to you. And
so
most
the police
of them
report,
is saying,
did you get it?
Missing.
Did they send it to you?
Yes, but it's saying missing. They said the report is not there. You might have a number.
Oh, even from the FOIL request? The FOIL.
Yes, I did a FOIL.
But it didn't produce anything. Did it produce anything?
It only produced 3 of the 14 requests that I made.
Okay, and those 3, so there is a police report. Some of them.
Some of them have a police. Some of them have nothing. And this is, this was supposed to be my trail of evidence. The only thing we have is our camera report. They cannot deny. That's why every time the police comes or anything that's happening, pull your camera out because
Yeah.
that's your evidence. That's your only lens that you can look through and to say they were here. What happened recently on May the 14th is a prime example, okay, of where they said they're going to generate the report. They asked for my passport. That's a very serious thing. You take a photograph of my passport, yet you do not make a report. And I went in not 48 hours, I went in like 4 days after. And not only was I treated like a less than a human being, but I was verbally assaulted by this woman at the front desk. Her name is Mildred something. I don't know. I told her she needs to work in the back. I said, you have on the police car outside is there marked courtesy, professionalism, and respect. I told her that. And I said, you are neither courteous, you're neither professional, and you have no respect.
Okay.
I said, you ought to be working in the back. And I did tell her, I wasn't, loud or anything, but I made her know because they think that everybody is sleeping. No, some of us are awoke. Okay. I'm not sniffing, snorting, nothing, injecting nothing in my system. I am very alert. And I go up to a higher power and ask every day for guidance, how to treat people, how to do right. So when they try to mess with people like us, they realize that we're not the regular mill of the run of the mill. And
Yeah.
I want my son to chime in now because he has another
Absolutely.
side he wants. I want to take up all the time. But we need justice. The case is with the district attorney. Alvin Bragg's office has the case. Why has Alvin Bragg's office not moved on it? Okay, they opened a special unit for tenants that were attacked and wronged by landlords. There's a special unit in Alvin Bragg's office. I was one of the first person to put my complaint in, and I have not heard from anybody, maybe twice. Marco Perez, I'm gonna call out his name. He's the person dealing with it. Where is my case at this time? I've been assaulted and I'm still living in, they said, oh, they don't own the building. You don't just get up and disown. They have to pay because these crimes have been committed up until May the 14th. I was assaulted in here and told we're not to walk and we're not to go. And who is supposed to be telling tenants that? I wasn't bothering anyone. We saw the whole building filled with nothing but firefighters, and there were fire trucks outside. So I'm thinking it's a fire. I'm getting ready to grab my coat and run. And here comes the same individual. This has been nothing but a domestic terrorism right here in New York City, and they need to be prosecuted for that. This is not no landlord tenant. I don't regard them as no tenants. When I see them, I'm fearful because I'm a woman and they have assaulted me in here and they have assaulted my children and they have falsely arrested them. This is not a landlord tenant. This is a criminal matter and it needs to be investigated and prosecuted.
Hey, quick question. Is this the Marco Perez that you were talking about?
Yes, I think he's
Okay.
in the DA office.
So I looked him up, right? Not trying to dox him or anything, but the thing is that he does not actually seem to be a lawyer. He's actually it looks like he's just a political science guy. You see what I
Well,
mean?
whatever he is, all my emails have gone to him.
Okay.
And all he has communicated with me, Mr. Presley. That's since last November. Nobody has done anything. And I'm like, this is how they're worried about Donald Trump. And yeah, because he's a bigwig. But I ain't no bigwig. But I have a very big heart for people. And I've helped people. I've advocated. I've marched. And then when you want help, and I know you know what I'm talking about. You
Absolutely.
know your
Yeah.
issue is pushed to the side
Yeah.
every single time. When you need help, you help everybody. Mark, sign up. Buses, morning, evening. I'm on buses going to Albany. I'm on buses going to Washington, D.C. I'm there. And when you need just one issue and just that one person who has influence to say, look at this, what is going on with your case. Look at this man. Maybe he has a valid point. Maybe there are other people who are suffering from the same thing. But if you're not Donald Trump or the president of the United States, you don't get no airtime. And that's wrong. And that's why I respect the grassroots media because everybody had to start somewhere. But don't get so big that you forget the little people. Because come election time and when you want support, Those are the little people, the little soldiers that's going to march and be there for you. But I have not gotten the support that I should have got, with that organization. And I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I'm just saying I have not gotten any support with everything that I've gone through in this house. And I even told them about the recent incident, up here and on Mother's Day, and this was an emergency for tenants. If you see fireman pulling a building, you want to run outside. We were ordered to get back upstairs, and we had to. I didn't want my son to have an altercation with this because there's already, other things that went on. And how can somebody who says they're the super with no ID can order people all over the building? Where so we had to go back upstairs. I never found out what the issue was. I didn't even know. It could have been a fire in here. I could have gotten hurt in this building on Mother's Day because of domestic terrorists who think that they take over a building or wherever they come from, their pants hanging off their ass, smoking up the buildings, selling drugs in the building. This building has become a house for drug sales. I tell the police that.
Quick question: is it the person on the first floor? Is the owner living on the first floor, or they
They're
have
not living on the first floor. They are living where the former landlady used to live.
Is there a business on the first floor, or is there actual other?
There's no business. There were
Just
tenants on
all
the first
tenants.
floor.
Okay, just
All
interested.
tenants.
Okay, just good to know. Just interested.
Yeah. Korey, you want to chime in, man? I want my son to chime in. He
Okay.
was fixing his phone, but I'll let him chime in because, maybe there's some things that he can, as he scrolls, because as I said, there's a lot of violations. And this person just said on May the 16th, I don't own the building no more. And we want to know what happened. The lawyer said it. So what happened? And where do we stand as tenants? I want to know. I've got this big question sign on my head. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet.
How are you?
Nice to meet you, man. Sorry about what you're going through.
Oh no, not a problem, not a problem. Yeah, it's he pretty much summed it up. It's pretty much drains comes down to inside corruption, political corruption within the police department is what that is. When you have an individual who has police officers coming to take police reports, and then they're not taking the police report, they're taking your information, saying they're going to take your police reports on camera, and then not take your police reports, and then you have the judge inside of the harassment case attempting to side with her as well. It just goes down to political corruption. You know what I mean? Internal corruption. Um, I was inside of an ambulance. I was put in an ambulance. I had a vase dropped over my head. I was slammed. And they took a police report and said that I just felt annoyed. I didn't feel threatened, even though I told them on their body cam that I felt threatened. And they interviewed me while I was in the ambulance. They just simply said that it was harassment. It wasn't assault, which was an absolute lie. I was in the ambulance and I had my ambulance report as well, which makes no sense for them to even make that statement. That was a false police report that they made. So we are at the process right now. That's a human rights violation, but we are in the process right now of filing a human rights violation and sending in the police officers' information to the human rights department, violations department, and to have them investigated. Hopefully, have that whole situation taken care of. Right now, it seems like it's going to lead to a big lawsuit against the city for neglect. I mean, it's just straight naiveness that's going on, to where you can have an individual just say they own a building. You don't do any sort of cross check, referencing, back check to see who these people are. They can just simply show you a piece of paper or show you something off of their cell phone and you'll believe them. And for 3+ years, we've been calling the police on them and nothing has been done. This wouldn't be going on in white neighborhoods. This wouldn't be going on in Spanish neighborhoods. We know a lot of these officers that come here, many of them have a great disdain for Black Americans as well. And they play these games that they wouldn't play in their own communities. And the first thing they do is they come here and they put on a uniform to live out these supposed white supremacist fantasies, because they watch a few isolated incidents on social media of officers taking advantage of the Black community, and they think that they can come here and do the same. But we know many of these things wouldn't be happening in their own community. You can't go to Park Avenue and do something like this. You can't do this on Billionaires Row or anything like that. You know what I mean? We know for a fact it's internal corruption, and most definitely race does play a part in this. We don't see this happening in other communities to this extent. This would have been shut down years ago. And when we speak to individuals around our neighborhood about this, they're surprised, they're shocked. Even some of our white neighbors are surprised and shocked as to what the hell is going on. How does this keep happening? Because they know in the back of their head this would have never happened. This would have been shut down a long time ago. To sit there and see someone shut someone's lights off for 4+ months, that's an immediate arrest warrant. A lot of people don't realize that. That's an immediate arrest warrant. That's a misdemeanor. And they had, issued an arrest warrant for her, and then all of a sudden it disappeared out of nowhere. She had broken into an individual's apartment. The detectives, told one of the individuals to reach out to them. Then after a while, he threw the case out. He said he didn't want to deal with it. So it's clearly internal corruption that's going on, and then there has to be an investigation. On top of a lawsuit from my end, that the 33rd precinct is corrupt. And they sat there and told my mother when she went to go pick up her police report that she had filed on Mother's Day. Well, both of us had filed. He had stalked both of us up the stairs and threatened both of us. She went to pick it up, and to sit there and think that they'll think we're wasting our time, or she's going to waste her own time to go and pick up a police report that she didn't file. And they'll sit there and say, oh, you lied. They called her a liar. They said, oh, she's lying. Why would someone walk up to a police station, to a police precinct, and waste their own time to pick up a police report that they know they did not file? That makes no sense. And you had a black woman in there they put at the front. These are these white supremacist gaslighting deflection tactics that they do. She's smiling, laughing, and giggling with the Latinos that come in there, with the whites that come in there, and as soon as she sees a black face, one of her own, she gets on code and she starts to act a fool. And that's something that my mother had to deal with, and she had to check. Who's going to run to a police station and pick up a police report after the police officers on camera told her to do so? And you're going to call a citizen who pays your bill a liar? Nonsense. And I'm going to be uploading the video today so people can see what's going on. And I'll send it to you, in your email and whatnot. But there's so much corruption that's been going on. All of the police officers, majority of them are corrupt. We've only probably been a handful of them. We've caught him we caught her son trespassing and breaking into a blind man's apartment downstairs. He was disguised as one of the city contractors, and we called the police for the blind guy because he didn't know what was going on. He doesn't like them. He doesn't want them in his apartment. When the police came in, well, we're not going to file any police report. You can't sit there and decide that. That's your job. But we have to force them to call their supervisor. When the supervisor came, the supervisor filed the police report. But they sat there and told me, oh, the supervisor's going to say the same thing. He's not going to file a police report. Oh, really?
Yeah, why do you think
so they called the supervisor and he filed it. And, it's just over and over and over, tactics that they do in order to deflect away from and protect the criminals. And then they sit there and harass the innocent people of the community that pays their rent. They don't cut their own paycheck. They don't write their own paycheck. They depend on the community to write it for them.
I understand, yeah. That's it's pretty wild, man. So what do you think, and from the community, what do you think is most urgent for you guys to really get solved? Is it the housing situation? Is it this, it sounds like you're under threat, like from these people that are going
the
to all
most urgent thing is to
ends.
have them arrested.
Yeah. That sounds
I
like there's a
agree.
violent
That's number
situation
one.
going on, yeah.
There needs to be an arrest.
They should have been arrested a long time ago.
If I had done it to anybody, and I mean anybody, even an animal, I would be locked up.
Here's
They
another
need to
thing,
be-
right? Yeah. It sounds like the way that they're treating your case, it sounds like this is happening to other people too. Have you been able to find any potential allies, or maybe we got to get the word out and then other people start showing up? But it sounds like this is kind of like business as usual for their team. Do you have anybody else that's making similar stuff? If not, it's time for us to meet them. That's why you're on my show, to try to start making those.
There's an organization called, I think it's MET, something to do with housing. I've been to their rallies and stuff, but they're
That
so
Council on the
flooded.
Housing, I know them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They've been so flooded with other things, but believe me, there's nowhere that anybody has sent us that we haven't gone. I work on this issue every day. Today is a holiday. I'm on it. I don't have a vacation day like other people to say, oh, I take a break. This is very serious. My livelihood was threatened. My son, because of the arrest, he lost his job. Corey, you need to talk on that.
Yes, absolutely. I lost
Go
over
ahead.
$50,000 in income. I had authorization from the previous landlord to be in that area of the building to reset the circuit breakers, to help with other things within the building, exterminate, and they cut the lights off. We went down there to reset the breakers or turn back on the breakers, and they claimed they caught us on video down there, and they arrested me, and I ended up losing my job. And the prosecutor threw it out. They said it was frivolous. My brother as well was arrested.
So
And we have to pay. We have to pay to have a lot of stuff. The cameras, and we have to pay money. Restitution damages. So
y'all
I'm
were
gonna be
looking for
suing.
the,
I'm gonna be countersuing back in return for damages towards me. Also, a lot of injuries we've sustained at the building because of maintenance, lack of maintenance that they've done. The city has been repairing everything. So a lot of violations, Class C violations, and now the city is suing her. So the city's suing her. Everybody's suing her right now.
Okay, that's and
now she's trying to back out, talking about she doesn't own anything anymore. Oh no, it's not mine anymore. But for the past 3 years, you claimed it was yours. You can't just run now. You're responsible.
Right. Also, your brother got caught up in this as well, too, right?
Yes, he was also arrested. We both went down there to turn back on the lights, and we were both arrested.
What about? Did anything happen to his job, or was he also Did he also have difficulties as a result of these?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Did he also experience difficulties as a result of this? Being arrested and all that other stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Like, what happened?
We can wait for what's it called? Well, first of all, he missed time off from work, and he was arrested. On top of that, he had to get his name cleared. He had a record. His record was clean before that. So it affected his record. He had to get that removed. Paying attorneys. We have to pay the attorneys and restitution fees.
When is
that's punitive damages right there.
So that's over. They dropped the charges?
They have dropped the charges, but his record, his reputation,
yeah,
alone has been stained.
Plus the hours and the it's a very stressful, and it's actually a threat, right? That's one way they used to threaten you. I'm glad that worked out, but that actually that's good in your favor because that shows that y'all are innocent of the charges and that they were actually ridiculous on their face. So that's right. More supporting evidence on your behalf. It's unfortunate that you went through that. A lot of times they do not provide restitution for legal, but we'll see. Once again, you were assaulted. That's pretty severe. And I hope that
damages, false accusation,
emotional. I've been seeing a therapist.
Yeah, seeing a psychiatrist, clinical psychiatrist, all that.
It was too much.
It was a lot. It was really a lot that was going on. We really had to get. I had to get a lot of help, man. And and was capable of finding other realms of employment and funds and whatnot to hustle.
So what happened at the court date that happened recently? Was a ruling placed, or did they, set another date or something?
She tried to claim that she doesn't own the property anymore. She tried to back out of it, but the assault happened and the all that stuff happened when she was still owner of the building. She transferred it from the estate to her name, then from her name back to the estate. But she's still she's still going to be sued regardless. She still owes money. You don't just get to do damages, then get up and run. So that's what she wants to do.
So the judge accepted her. The judge said, "No, this is ridiculous. The suit will go forward."
The judge was trying to be lenient. Sorry, telling our attorney, "Well, she claims she doesn't own the building anymore. What does that have to do with us?" She wanted to try and drop the charges, and we were like, "No." That judge has been trying to be lenient on her for long. So we're like, "No,
The judge is siding with her. It's not a
He's
good.
siding with her.
It's not a
Correct.
good judge. We needed her off the case because she claims she used to work with the court also. So she has a lot of in. She
Right.
obviously is well connected
Right.
somehow.
Okay.
She's well connected. Right.
You know,
Yeah. So she can.
there's two
Voila.
pathways that I'm working on right now to try to influence judges and also have better police accountability. One of them is, just so you know, you can look it up for yourself. There's something called Civilian Review Board. And the thing is that Civilian Review Board, it's all political appointees or organizational appointees. There's not really much civilian about it. So in terms of the cops, right, messing with you, ideally you would go to complain something like internal affairs, right? But guess what? Internal affairs, the way it's set up is, right, they shuffle people into internal affairs for like a couple of years, then they shuffle them back out. And they stay within the station, they transfer them in ways that encourage them not to report. Yeah? The second thing is, as in terms of the judges, there's something called county committee. And next year for Bronx, Queens, and county committee actually assigns the judges through the district leadership. So that's something that you guys probably want to participate in so that you guys can directly impact who the judges' selections will be in coming years. That's their connection. You can find out who's connected as in terms of that type of stuff, yeah? Those are directly responsible for getting them seated. So, I'm sorry, go on, yeah? But I'm sorry about the twisted, bad connection. And you did a great job of filming all that, and I'll be glad to share those videos on my channel, and I encourage them. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I said absolutely. I'm going to be uploading them. I already have a few of them uploaded. I'm going to upload this most previous one where they lied about taking a police report. They took our identification and told us to pick it up in 48 hours. We have the photos and the videos of those two officers. Both of them were foreign. They sound like they were from like a Latin country or whatnot, and you know what I mean. Many of them come here and they take us as a joke here, but they don't do that in their own communities. I noticed that very closely. I used to work with SCLC growing up, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, MLK's organization down there in Atlanta from when I was 14, 15 years old. So I grew up studying these tactics right here. Well, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. You know what I mean? So we have the videos of these individuals who come here in uniform. Their body camera was recording. We were recording on our end, and we ended up. I ended up. What's it called? Getting a couple screenshots. So I'll send the screenshots and the video, and you'll be able to hear audibly them say, "We'll take a police report, etc., and take it up in 48 hours." I don't know if my mother was recording when she went to the police station. I would, but she also claimed, as you heard, they accused her of being a liar shortly afterwards. So there's a whole bunch of nonsense that's going. There's a lot of corruption in the police right now.
Okay.
Yes, it's a lot going on, and if I'm a registered voter, concerned citizen, and also an activist, I'm not gonna sit back and do nothing. You know, this is the first time I've ever been assaulted like this since living in this country, and it really has impacted my standard of living, my mental health, my everything has been just turbulent. You know, I can't have a day when I come in this house because these men are still in this house. She claims that she no longer owns the house, but they're walking still in this house. And I have to be very fearful when my sons are not here because they'll assault me. They'll tell me, "Bitch, what are you looking at? Don't look over here." I got them on camera, you know, threatening me. I'm not supposed. What do you take and see me? What eyes do you take to know that I'm looking? I'm coming up the stairs. You going down the stairs. You know, you see the person in the building. You know, who are these people to legislate where I look, where I don't? I didn't say anything to this individual. And the first thing he said, "Bitch, don't ever let me catch you looking at me. I'm going to punch you in your fucking face." Just like that. And when I called the police, they didn't make no report. They knocked up the door. "Oh, he's not there." They know who these are. We got pictures of them. We got over the 3 years. We have well documented information about these people, unknown people who have come into this building and terrorized us. It is nothing but domestic terrorism. And Alvin Bagg's office, the police commissioner, The mayor and the governor needs to look at this. And I'm
Okay.
sure there are other people out there.
I do have a
I mean,
question
this
right
is
quick,
not
yeah?
just verbal assault. This is
Right.
physical. We were physically assaulted. And
Oh,
and and,
right.
and they said it was an eviction. You not having light for 4.5 months. I had to live in the Bronx for 2 weeks. We were locked out. She locked out the doors and the judge ordered her. We took her to court for locking us out. The- And
Right.
the judge ordered her to give us keys. You know what she did? She gave us keys at the end of the month. The order was for the middle of the month. We had to spend 2 weeks out of nobody could come in here. And she never got arrested. I was not in this apartment for 2 straight weeks, my family and myself, because the front entrance door locks were changed. And she's changed it about 10 times. We have all been locked out, all the tenants in this building, standing outside in the cold, in the rain, and this person has not been arrested.
She changed the lock to
Something
the
is not
outside
right.
door? She changed the lock to
So,
the outside door?
yes, on the entrance door.
Pretty
On
wild.
the entrance door, and every single tenant in here was locked out. We
Nobody.
were all out there looking like we called the police, and the police said there's nothing they could do. So I had to take her to court. I was the only tenant that took her, and the judge ordered her to change the locks again and give every single tenant a key. And she waited 15 days after the order. Okay, like for example, the order was for the 15th of the month. She waited until the 31st of the month to
Quick
change the
question,
lock.
yeah?
So for 2 weeks,
Does she
I
own
had to
Yeah.
go to the Bronx. I kept coming, checking the door, coming. We had to get an attorney
Hey,
to
quick
get
question,
the
yeah?
key from her.
Does she own or maintain other properties, or is your building really the
No,
only one?
no, this is the
No,
first
not at all.
property.
She doesn't
She
own
owns
anything.
nothing.
She lives in rent stabilized apartment
She's on
building.
Section 8.
Yeah, she's on Section 8.
Well,
These are people who never own nothing.
Section
And
8 you could
my
be very
lawyer
rich,
asked her that
actually,
in
yeah.
court.
Section 8, I think, is usually like $70,000 to $100,000 plus, like as in terms of income. You can be a millionaire and living in Section 8, so
Oh,
that doesn't really mean much, yeah?
right,
Section 8.
right. But I'm just giving you a history of these people. If somebody comes and takes money from you, even in the bank, you got to show ID. I have paid 3 months rent, partial, and from to people that never showed ID, that's a criminal matter. There's so many criminal things that have gone on. The DA, the district, the federal government, they need to come on in here and look at this case and make it be a landmark case and an example to those who rent buildings or renters or owners. This is not what you do. I've never heard of this before. You know, it's not just come out the building or take us to the court. No, they had to actually physically assault us and verbally ongoing, shutting off light, shutting off hot water. We were without hot water for a whole month. You know, everything in here was just falling apart. And the city came in and started to fix the toilet. No toilet for 2 months. I take pictures of those. I got the pictures. 2 months straight, no toilet. I had to go downstairs and use the toilet downstairs and nothing. Where do you get away with this stuff? And it was written up as a violation. Okay, it's not something hearsay. I called 311 every single day till they got tired of me. They sent inspectors here, violation written up. You still have violation. I injured myself on the steps because they refused to repair. I was going down. I slipped like a banana peel, fell up in the air, busted everything, my head. I was unconscious, and people on the street rescued me and called the ambulance. Okay? I'm still in therapy dealing with injuries from the front door steps. It's a lot going on here. And they are still walking around here in the building. She says she don't own the building. Why are they in the building? Why is she and these hoodlums still walking around in here?
Maybe
There's
she's
got to be
managing
an
the
answer.
building. Sometimes they move themselves into management, yeah? Which is
They're not
basically
managing anything. They're just here to intimidate. And that's what they've done to all the tenants. There's nothing management about this. This is like street vigilante that they have conducted right here. This is street stuff.
Okay.
I'm not used to that.
So you said your first interest is actually getting the people who attacked your son arrested.
Yes, they need to be arrested and prosecuted.
And you guys
That's
have
the first thing.
And you have the evidence? You have the video? of
We
the
have all
attack?
the videos.
Yes,
We have
yes, yes.
everything.
I ended up having so when they first came up and started breaking up this place, I opened up the door and was recording.
Right.
But
I
you
had
stayed
to,
inside.
in order to make a phone call, you have to stop recording in order to make that call. You can't record and make
That's
calls.
true.
So as I go inside to pull my door in, whatnot, I stop recording so I can go ahead and call 911. I go inside to call 911 now. They're pushing in the door. Pushing in the door, and I have to push them out and lock the door. So I called the police, then I called my mother or whatnot, etc. So I go to open back up the door to go downstairs because the police tell me, hey, you got to go
Well, you
downstairs
had
to
to
open up
step
the door for them.
outside.
I open up the door and they reach inside of the door and pull me out. You know what I mean? So, and I had to, like I said, I had to stop recording so I could even just call the police to begin with. So it's crazy, you know what I mean? That someone, and I brought the police upstairs afterwards and showed them the broken vase and everything. They just rolled their eyes. I got the video of me of talking to them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's
I
traumatic to
showed
go
them,
through it again and again. It really sucks, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah. So
My son is going to send you photos of the damage
Okay.
that they
yes, we have an
did.
entire folder.
We'll
We'll send you
send it
everything
to
on
you,
Google
let you
Drive.
know it's not a minor stuff. It's
Yeah,
a major stuff.
it's very serious.
And she sent a letter before that threatening me that she was going to do it. She had intent. We have that letter,
Yeah,
but we can't
it
give it
was
to you.
assault with intent. Yes,
Yes, it was an
she has a
assault. It was
letter.
premeditated. Yeah.
Right.
Yo, I have a crazy story. I used to have a store, right? And then some people would come in and steal, and then when I called the cops and the cops didn't do anything, then one day I ran out and I beat those kids. I beat them up. You know what I mean? And then I
Yeah.
said the cops ain't doing anything to you. They ain't gonna do anything to me, and the cops didn't do anything to me either. And the thing is,
I told her that. I said, look, if they're not doing nothing to them, after a while, if he keeps doing it, I'm gonna have to take him down. But she's a bit concerned and whatnot.
I don't
You've
want to
never
do it
been
either.
arrested.
I haven't done it yet, and I understand as a mother, right? She would never advocate. Who would, as a friend, just as someone who just who's, I can't say we're really friends. You know what I mean? Like I just met you, but just as someone who's concerned for general welfare, I wouldn't recommend it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that's how essential it is that we get some help out here. Because if we don't get help,
oh, absolutely, I agree.
We're forced.
I would have did that a long.
You
I
were
would have did that a
attacked.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have did that a long time ago.
I
Trust
don't
me, and
want-
especially threatening my
I
mother.
don't
You
wanna-
know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to do it either. I really don't. But what other choice do you have? Like what is
Exactly.
it? They're gonna keep
Exactly.
doing it
You
to
have
you.
no
You can't
choice.
take it. You cannot keep taking this type of
Exactly.
stuff. And I'm sorry. Yeah, like as I really want you to get justice here because it's just
Yes.
it's too far. It's too much. I'm
Yeah,
It is.
sorry,
It's
that's
a
all.
lot. It's a lot.
Like I told her, if he continues to do that, I'm gonna have to respond. Especially if he invades our personal space like that, coming up on us and this that. You're invading personal space now. Now it's self-defense.
Yeah, they reach their arms into your home and drag you out. You have
Right.
They sure did.
you have a right to use deadly force in that case. I mean, really, but
That's right.
Yeah, like by the law.
Even
why
even
is the law
here,
there?
talking us up the stairs and all that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's why
I'm
we
sorry,
made
yeah.
that police report on Sunday, which they say they don't have. But we
Yep.
have it
So
on
now we
camera.
have no other choice but to put it in our own hands. I mean, we're here talking to you. We're looking to get the word out, but I mean, we have no other choice.
I don't want it to come to that because my sons were never arrested before that. They don't have no criminal records.
It's self-defense. It is
These
what it is.
people are
But
criminals.
I know.
And it's a passionate subject, but I don't like it. I don't like the fact. And I tried to solve it the right way with the police and the courts, but these people don't want that. This boy that comes in here and these men, they want a physical confrontation.
But you can't say that that's wrong though either.
They come to do what they do in the streets. This is not
Understood,
about.
but if someone's violating your personal space and attacking you, I understand what DJ Elf is saying. You have the right to defend and protect yourself, and he's correct about that.
What about the other? What about like Now I heard that also the landlord put up some cameras. What about putting some cameras
Yes.
in the hallway?
Oh my
Can you
God.
do that? Maybe
Yes.
maybe that would. I mean, these people sound crazy, but maybe if you put some
Yeah,
cameras in the
they
hallway.
put them up there to study our ins and outs in the
And
building.
to stalk us. It's
To
not
stalk.
studied.
What about
Whenever police are coming, they can know when the police are coming, and
Yes.
Can you put up
it's
your own
And it
just
needs to
cameras?
be taken down right away. That's another thing. They need to be arrested, and those cameras need to be taken down.
right.
She's not the owner anymore. Take those cameras down.
Can you put up your own cameras to protect
I'm
your?
gonna put
Yeah.
up whatever I need to put up.
We
We have
have
one.
our cameras on our
We
doors,
have our
on our
cameras.
apartment door,
Yeah.
but not throughout the building.
Yeah. No, I
We
understand.
have
Yeah.
to protect ourselves because they used to come up here every single day, 24 hours a day. They thought it was a joke. If we put the pressure up, we keep it on, they're going to move out. I'm not moving anywhere. I've lived here. I'm the longest living tenant. I have a right to freedom, all of us. A space to live, a decent space to live, a decent place to be safe, not to be threatened. I have to record every time I go down the stairs. Do you know I have to record myself leaving the building and entering? Because if they attack me, I have evidence. 3 years of recording myself when my sons are not here. I'm afraid because sometimes it's two and three men. I'm a woman. I'm only 5'4". And they know that when my sons are not here, this is when you see all of them come out walking behind me, threatening me. Am I supposed to live in fear? How you think my sons are gonna feel? That's why he's angry because they assault mostly me. I'm the person that that day when they broke up the stuff. It just so happened that he was here.
No,
I
I get
wasn't
it.
here,
Yeah, you're
but
you're a much
normally
more attractive target than your son.
that's
Your
what
son,
they do,
your son looks
and they're
pretty
punks
muscular over there.
because
Yeah.
when my sons are here, they don't do it.
Yeah.
You
Well, not
know.
as much. Yeah. I mean, they're getting him at him too. He's a victim in this. You know.
Well,
So I
it
know what you
needs
mean.
justice. They said no justice, no peace. I want justice because I have no record of harassing or taking any kind of action, negative action against anyone. I'm an activist for action and peace and for resolving situations. I'm not for that. But I've been attacked and I must defend myself and my family.
Okay.
And it needs justice. And the district attorney office, the governor, every single person who has this information, the mayor, the police commissioner, they're all accountable. And those
Okay.
false records, they falsified his police report.
One
They
question. Yeah.
falsified all the police report. All of them are
Okay.
incorrect.
One person that you said who seems to have been working on your case is Cordell Clear. I know she does have a pretty decent track record. What is she doing for your case?
Well, she's the one that sent the case to the district attorney. I didn't know who my senator was because when I went to Senator Jackson's office 3 years ago, the people said, "Oh, he's not your senator." They sent me back to Cordell, but I've been sending it to Benjamin. Remember Brian Benjamin?
Okay.
This case has been since Brian Benjamin was in office.
Right.
Brian Benjamin became the lieutenant governor, and the case is still going on. And now we have Cordell Clear. So now we've had people in there who know the case. I have every single email that I have sent to to Brian Benjamin, the former mayor, who was De Blasio, because it was so bad. You think it was bad now? Every single day the police was here. And I mean morning, noon, and night. This was like a police station because they would attack us going in and coming out. We had no breathing room. I lost how much pounds? My doctor said, "What's wrong with you?" I was so sleepless nights. I'm worried about my sons, myself. I have been unhappy for 3 long years. But I never take my problem out on anyone so people would not know what you're going through. Because I try to channel my energy in a positive way and still help other people while I'm going through this. But it's time for it to end. It is time for it to end. It's time for the district attorney that has the case and has the information to act upon it and arrest these people and take these cameras down. And it's time that criminal charges be levied against these people. I have no criminal record. These people have criminal records. I looked it up as long as Jerusalem Road.
and they're trying to give us one. My sons have never been arrested before this. And when they went to the police precinct, do you know what the police asked me? How do you raise two sons and they're over 30 and they've never been arrested? You see the stereotype?
Yeah, I
My
remember you
sons
said that
were
before.
30,
Yeah.
what, 32 and 36. And they said, no criminal record. They were shocked. How do you raise two black men and they don't have a record?
That's kind
I
of
felt insulted by
that
that
is kind of
question.
not
Do you
really
know
cool.
that?
Yeah, that is kind of not really cool. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, he insulted me. He said to me, most black men, and I can hardly even keep my cousins and my brothers out of prison. How do you do it? How? I said, on my knees. I was there, I prayed, and I made my kids be involved in sports. They were never in the street. They don't know nothing about no street and gang. I kept them in taekwondo. They went to swimming, basketball, baseball. When they got home, they were so exhausted. They could only just do their homework, eat, and go to shower and go to bed. I have three children. I have a daughter too, but she lives somewhere else. But I'm just saying, people talk about you can't, I was a single parent too. I didn't have a husband, but I didn't have my son terrorizing people in buildings and attacking people and assaulting people. I took ownership of the people I brought here in this world. So we don't have no record of them tearing up society or being a menace to society. So why should they be punished? We have all been punished by what has gone on, but I'm trusting in God and your platform, and I always talk about your platform. You are one of the few people, or one of the first persons who gave us this time to speak. And I will always talk about that because it's people
I
like
appreciate that.
yourself
Yeah.
that do this and that brings, what I'm saying, so that other people can recognize how valuable you are.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
And look at this. On a holiday morning, you could have been doing anything. You said, I'll do the, I'll put your, issue out there early in the morning. And I thank you.
Thank you. And
God
I
bless
hope
you.
people stay tuned because I do want to actually. You have that evidence, the video that you filmed. I'd like
Yes,
to at some point.
Korey.
Yeah.
Yes, he's gonna give it to you now. He's
Okay.
gonna give you that video with the last incident.
If you email it to me, I can put it in
Yes,
this broadcast right
it will
now.
be emailed over to
Okay.
you. I'm going to be uploading it today.
Okay.
Yes,
So I'll do that on a later episode, and I'll follow on with your
yes.
case. What else can I do to help you?
Absolutely.
What can we do to help you in the meantime? Is there maybe a petition? Is there an event coming up? How can maybe you want to put your contact information? People can get at you either way.
Yes,
Um,
I think I'm gonna start a petition,
okay.
and have people sign the petition for there to be an investigation leading to an arrest
Yeah.
of what has gone on here, and get it to the as I said, the assemblyman. Senator Jackson needs to take the matter seriously. Um, the mayor needs to take it seriously, and Alvin Bragg's office
Oh, let me show you.
and the government.
Let me show you something crazy. Hold up a second. Yeah. Now remember I said there's
Yes.
something called a county committee, and over here you can see this is a list of every voter in an assembly district. You see how that's like a.
Mhm.
You see how that's a list of addresses, and
Yes.
these are people that have actually voted in previous elections, and I can
Mm-hmm.
get this to you. And the thing is that right now there are candidates who are going door to door. You can tell these candidates in your district about what's happening to you. You can find
Right.
all the voters in your building, right? Yeah, if they've actually voted and say, you know what, these are all. You can go to the go to your politician and say, you know what, these are the people in my building that vote, and I told them about what's going on, and they're with me. Or you can,
Mm-hmm.
find other people. So maybe that could be a good tool for y'all to, maybe the politicians will pay a little bit more attention. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Thank
encourage
you.
you to run for
Yes.
office yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because they only come around when it's election time. I took it to Shauna Brewer's office too. He is the assemblyman for this district, and they contacted Alvin Bragg's office, but they didn't follow up. When I tried to call them, nobody followed up. They got my paperwork, but the
Yeah.
follow up is the next thing. They said, oh, unless there's to me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, unless you're dead or shot or stabbed, people don't want to. That doesn't make the news, and that's a bad thing because in some countries you don't have that kind of crime because they're not waiting for crime; they're preventing crime. These police, they don't care. They want this to happen so that they can get a job and stand over, and the detective can come over the dead body and talk about the tragedy. Let's not talk about that. because our children are looking at that, and that's why there's violence.
Yeah.
You're promoting violence, not peacefulness.
Let's help
Children
the
are
living.
fighting
Yeah.
today because the adults are fighting. They don't recognize that. The adult fight what goes on, it is being put on our poor children. If I was a person who fought and made a lot of arguments and fought with people, my children would come and be the same. They'll be violent, attacking people. So what we give out is what comes back to our children and our families. We've got to stop this. Prevention is better than looking for a cure. And the police and all these people that get our taxpayer dollars, they're not about preventing crime. Right
Yeah.
around in these cars, and unless they hear a gunshot or there's a murder, they're not going. And I believe that every shift that the police officer goes on, maybe the sergeant tells them, go lock up 5 black people or 10 black, or don't take the report unless there's a dead body. They don't care. This is not no urgency. This is not no urgency for the police. They promote crime. They need to stop. They need to take the citizens seriously when the thing is at a minimal. This should not have gone on this long. If they had taken this thing into matters or addressed it somehow, this would not be going into 4 years. We're going into 4 years, sir.
Yeah.
This is the 4th year of being harassed, attacked, assaulted. I had 10 bags of groceries thrown out after 4 months. I had no refrigerator in here in the summer, and it was 101 degrees in here, and she shut my light off.
Yeah. It sounds very
And the
vindictive. I'm
police,
sorry what you're going through. Yeah.
yeah, and
All
the
right.
police
So
came and take photos of the bag, and they told her to turn the lights on. Do you think she turned it on? She didn't.
she
The police
doesn't
told
when she
her,
wants to. Yeah. Well.
and and
Yeah.
and it's just bad. I mean, what can I say? I hope
All right.
this will help not just myself but other people.
How can
That's
people?
my hope.
Yeah. If other people have been
Because
going through the similar thing or have a similar
yeah.
complaint, how can they contact you to tell you about their own case so you guys can work together?
Okay, so what I'll do, I'll have my son send an email link,
Okay.
because
KMP Productions, the number one at gmail.com. KMP Productions, the number one at gmail.com.
Okay.
okay, so my son sent that out, but I think he needs to get another link. Corey?
No, that's fine. That's fine. KMP
Okay.
Productions. There's
Yeah,
yeah, that should be okay.
yeah, he could send you that the spelling, but
Okay, that's
we
so.
need help. We need help, and we appreciate this. This is helping us.
Okay,
What you are doing here is helping us,
I understand.
and I thank you. I
I
really do.
I know it's
And
like not to
I'm
be heard.
looking to help your cause by supporting you in whatever venture, and the people that are on your program and your platform. That is what I do. I don't work in isolation.
Well, let's get you some
You know.
progress. Yeah. Let me
Yeah.
actually deliver something for you before right.
Hmm.
But thank you for having my
Right.
back.
And we
Appreciate
will
it. Yeah,
send
I have
the
your back.
court case. We will send the court case number over because it's a live ongoing. I think we have another court date on what day? I think we have another
I
court date
believe it is in July,
sometime in July.
July the 15th, I believe, or the
Yeah.
19th, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
So it's still an ongoing case. The judge wants us to dismiss it, siding with her to say that all she has is a pension. She doesn't have the house anymore. Now, which judge is
Well, we're
supposed to
not
tell us that?
dismissing it, but she's trying to cover for her, that judge. The
Yeah, the
judge has been
judge
trying to cover her
is in
for the
cahoots.
past how many months now.
Look at the evidence that you guys send me. I'll put together a video on it. I'll try to get you some more popular, people to know about what's going on. People that are around the judge too. I'm start sending them the video, and
Yeah.
she should hear about it. So maybe we
Absolutely.
can make him a little bit more
Exactly.
aware.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get the case
Yeah, we
number.
got to start putting these elected officials on blast, or else they'll think that they could just operate in corruption and then just stay hidden whenever they want to, and then pop out and do some corrupt stuff and then go back and hide. No,
Yeah.
you need to be put on blast.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
people from Alvin Bragg's office all the way to the judgeship to the police precinct.
Yep.
Everyone has to be put on blast. Faces, names, faces, and locations. NFL.
No, I'm actually. I was actually at a meeting with Hakeem Jeffries, where he was making a presentation at Guy Brewer Club, and Gregory Meeks stood in front of the thing and he said, "You know what? Someone made an outburst," and he said, "You know what? You know why we get to do what we want because of election craft. We have the ability to get our people in, and control the narrative and do what we want." You know, he didn't say that expressly, but basically he said election craft is what wins, and that's true. The thing is that, right, in school, right, they teach you guys how to work for the boss. They don't teach you how to empower yourself. So right now,
Right.
right, you guys have to, right, does school teach you how to, like, you know, take over electoral power so you can influence, right, and break up the little corrupt stuff so you can get service? No, they don't. That's
Right.
why we've actually open source the data. We encourage you to run for a county committee in 24. That's gonna. You're in Manhattan or you're in Bronx? Manhattan, right?
Manhattan.
Yeah. So that already happened. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait another year. I think maybe in 25, the seats will open for county committee. But there's thousands of seats, and they do influence judges. And after you start to be in the game, right? Yeah. Then are they really gonna be able to ignore you forever? Well, hopefully not, right? And I'll work with you. So I'm really looking forward to this. I can see you're very committed, and I also need people that are committed for change. You know, where there's no pain, there's no urgency, and I can definitely feel the pain all over you. And I also am very incentivized to work hard. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on. Yeah. KMP Productions 1 at gmail.com. Any last things before I shut it down?
Korey?
That's about it, man. I've pretty much gone over everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But please do reach out to us if you do have any resources. Anyone who may be listening,
I'll have
Right.
it
it'll be
follow.
greatly appreciated.
And we want to let you know that it is well documented and well chronologed and all the evidence. We have that. It's not, it's like we're talking out of our, out of something, emotions. We have well documented what we have gone through. And we are ready to move forward, and we'd like to be living in peace and having, a safe place to live without having to look behind us
Okay.
and
So-
wonder, what's going to be next. Everybody deserves that. Everybody, not just myself. Every living creature, human being, deserves a safe place, a peace of mind. We got a lot of stuff going on in the world, but a lot of the problems were created by people, not even animals. People create problems to other people.
All right. I'm looking forward to working hard on this. I can't wait till that evidence comes in. I will remix
Yes.
it and put it out in a, a digestible video form as I can do the best that I can. That's all.
Yes.
And I have an edited video as well that I can show you
Oh,
also, that I can send to you also. We'll do all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm sorry what you're going through. Yeah. God bless. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless. Thank
And if
you.
there's anything you want us to reach out to do for, because we are in the fight on many different levels. It's just one. But if there's anything that we can do
I
to,
will.
put it out there for yourself or to help anybody else, we are here.
It'll be good for
That's
both
what
of
we're
us.
here for.
I'll set us up for that.
You know?
Yeah. I'll set you
Okay,
up for events
thank
that are
you
good
so
for both of us.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.